going to go through the first page and a half of Don Juan by Richard Strauss to give you ideas how to practice it. So first of all, I've noticed students sometimes have difficulty with the velocity and certainly with making the notes clear. And so the way that if you're having, it's the same for both. If you know that this will improve both of them. So you have 7/16 notes leading to the half note. Go 2 notes by 2 notes. So if you can figure out the real tempo, and try to play in that tempo. If you can't do that cleanly, then practice slowly and work your way until you can get up to that speed for just 2 notes. Then we're going to have notes 2 and 3. Not much difference there. I'm going to use my fingering. Some people will play in 3rd position going to 4th. The I think cleanest option, but it's a little more difficult shift at the end, is going to 4th finger. The difficult part is getting to the F sharp. So that if that's beyond what you're comfortable with, the second best, I would say, for clarity and ease is 1st position and then just shift to 1. However, that shift usually, it's very hard not to hear a little bit of a slide there. So anyway, 2 notes at a time. So we did notes 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and the next one is going to be, and this is even more important if you're doing the starting on the C string, because then you have more string crossings involved. But I'll do the easy finger, like I said. Then, and do try to match the bowing. So I start up bow, so up and down. The next one is going to be down and up, etc. Or if I'm doing the shift. Very important here. A lot of students will play kind of a separation here, and the problem is you're going from a détaché in the string bowing, you should be, to a long note where the bow is much slower. So the bow is fast on the 16ths, and you have to immediately change the speed. So practice doing that a few times to make sure you can really get that. Then, okay, so we've done 2 notes at a time. I mean, I did more than that occasionally, but now do 3 notes. Then, sorry, it's a new string, and I haven't. The bottom 3 are all new strings. I'm trying out the strings, so that's the first 3 notes. Now notes 2, 3, and 4. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to stop counting because I don't want to teach you to think of the notes. Whoops. Yeah, that's actually with my shifting fingering. That's a little harder because I have to stop myself, and but get the control. And it has to sound good. That didn't sound good. Then 4 notes. See where I'm going. Last 3/16 and the long E half note. Then 5 notes. Then we're going to run out of notes soon, but count to 5. Yeah, I didn't practice this and I had a long day of travel, but I'm enough excuses. Then 6. I keep having to do it again because I didn't do the right fingering because, Then leave out the first 2 notes, and going to the half note is 6 notes. Then 7 notes, that's all of the 16ths actually, so it's not quite pointless, but it's hard for me to stop the bow. And then leave out the first note and the next 7. 7, yes. And then the last thing left to do is 7 notes plus 1. Then you can go on. So now bow control. This note, you're not going to use quite the whole bow. That's why it's very important to slow the bow down. But I get to about the upper third, upper quarter of the bow. Now here, you probably need to practice this separately if you're not, by itself. So get there, make sure you have a good contact by angling the arm, and then just a little pinch to start. So up here, and then the up bow is a quarter note, longer note, but don't play it super long, just let the sound go in the air. Little story, when I played this, there was a substitute audition, like my fifth year at Curtis, my last year at Curtis, and they had it in the Academy of Music ballroom, which is a big room with a lot of mirrors. It's been renovated and decorated now, but it was extremely echoey. And so I played these 4 notes, and all I heard was this cacophony. I think I actually played it in tune, but all the echoes sounded so out of tune, I nearly stopped playing because I thought, oh my God, that sounded so bad, I can't possibly. But I kept going, and actually, I was one of the couple of people selected to be a substitute cellist, and they hired me a few weeks later, so that worked. Now, okay, so my Temple students are doing this right now. My Temple University students are doing this, so, and a couple came from other teachers, and some, fingerings that I've seen before, but haven't thought about because I don't do them myself, but so that's all starting on the G string, and even harmonic is fine, even in an audition. But then the option there is to go up to first finger on the B, and I'll just do our bowing, which is separate and all up, and it's in thumb position. Now, if you want to really polish this excerpt, like I did when I auditioned, 5 note, and then 6 note. Now here I'm not referring to a practice technique, and if you can't play this cleanly, then you may need to, back down the tempo a little bit, maybe, practice small groups of notes like before. But what I mean is he's actually written a 16th note quintuplet and then a sextuplet, so 5 and 6, 11 notes. And the last note is the 12th note. And I would practice it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now, for notes to be clear, the bow in the string and the fingers clear. You don't have to bang them on the fingerboard, but just lift cleanly and put them down cleanly. Then, I was practicing this a little bit because I did hear a couple of students play this, not all of them yet, but and this was difficult. The interesting thing is, so I played it a few times myself, practicing a few days ago, just to kind of figure out why was that difficult for that student. And it's the A sharp, so I'm playing it starting on 3, then half position, then stretch up and shift. Don't try to stretch there, that's like that. You won't be in place, you need to be in place for the B, so don't get stuck on the A sharp. And that is really the key to this. Shift back for the A sharp, but it's like really temporary. So like I've been doing a lot this year of practicing left hand by itself. So feel how the left hand kind of goes back to half position, but it kind of rocks forward. And same thing. Here I think a little more finger action is a good idea. So the penultimate one wasn't clear enough. Now, when people try to play the quarter note longer and the eighth note shorter, what happens a lot of times is they'll actually accent the quarter note, but it's the eighth note that has the accent. So 1 and then pizzes. You never want pizzes, you know, even in orchestra. If it's very loud, maybe it doesn't matter too much, but in an audition, we don't want to hear. My bridge is kind of high; it's hard to do. And German music don't roll chords quite as much. And I also noticed for my students, not everyone had a real clear picture of the intonation here. So make sure, you know, minor 7th, minor 6th, down a half step, minor 6th, and the 5th. Now the next part, be sure that it, you know, I don't want to hear da 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 because there's not an accent on every quarter note. There are no accents, but it shouldn't sound like a bunch of 6/4 measures. Da 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 da. That's another. Like if I hear that, that person's going to get a slightly lower ranking. So, and it doesn't say off the string, but this should be kind of light. It's not important. It should. It's only mezzo forte anyway, but there's melodies in the woodwinds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wouldn't shift here. Shift here. Same thing here. If you can reach. See, that wasn't even a tune. If not, especially for an audition, for concert, honestly, actually, as well, leave out the bottom note. And if it's an orchestra, if you're actually playing in the orchestra, then make sure half the cellos are playing the lower, at least, you know, somebody's got to be playing the low C. Then, letter A, on the string. Oh, I was supposed to rosin my bow before I did this, I forgot that too. So, yes, fortissimo, but you've got to go a ways. First of all, the next line down there is a triple forte, fortissimo coming up. So even the fortissimo has to be a little bit held back, and within the fortissimo there is we have some penciled in crescendos, but there are 2 printed crescendos by the composer. One is the crescendo to triple forte, but right in the second bar, maybe play it a little. I'm playing a little rubato, which would probably be okay, but don't do too much of that. Yeah, definitely need some rosin. Maybe I can talk while I'm doing that. Let's see. These are, I don't know how old the part is so old. It's got the first set of triplets, then another down bow to start the next triplet measure, then when it's triplet, half note, and then for 3 measures in a row. It looks like the remaining bowing is starting down bow 1 measure, starting up bow the next measure, and starting down the next, because you have 7 notes in each measure, an odd number. But I can see that at some other point there was penciled in down, 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 and then a retake of down bow there. If you do that retake, make it very, like, play the half note long. German music, notes are more connected than French and Italian. And yeah, so even that, that's too long for me. So really, save the bow. Should go a little closer to the bridge. Each of these notes has an accent on it, so it's got to have a little more impulse there, and hit it and back away. Okay, that's too much rosin now. And again, we have, so the bowing I learned is starting up bow, but we have down, and it's sort of weird. It doesn't really matter that much, but. So, whatever is clearest. I think for me, I end up playing and then shift, extend the hand. And this will be the part you practice like the beginning. Then, and probably a good idea to practice the poise of, let's see, down, up. Because actually getting to the thumb is easy enough, but then getting the G string to speak and have your finger land on the note properly is actually not, it's a little harder than it seems like it should be. Then, did I do that right? No, I did it wrong. Yeah, there we go, okay. Grand scheme of things, doesn't matter. Next, this the same, except that here you don't actually have to shift. You have to move your first finger back, but nothing else. And I'll play this a little slower mostly, so you can hear all the notes. Same thing, same bow. Now, in orchestra playing, we don't, especially auditions, you shouldn't play not very many open strings. This one, it's got an accent on the note, and it should be so fast that actually it won't sound all that loud. And you immediately hit the G string, and you've got to play loud on the D string. Or, if it doesn't really, is also okay. I would say that's less good, hitting the fourth finger there on the A sharp now. Now this one, because it's on the C string, this is kind of interesting. I'm trying, what's the name of the strings? Oh yeah, il canone, but the warm and broad ones. And the C string on this cello is quite powerful and pretty clear. I don't know how much will come across on the microphone, but I did use the good mic, but so hopefully it does. But it's quite strong. I would definitely play, and my students had problems with this actually, but I would definitely play open G for the F double sharp. Really simple. Keep the fingering as simple as you can. You want to move, move as little as possible. You have to move, but make the shifting smaller rather than big shifts. So not that fourth finger G sharp and then flying back here for ba-da, that fast. I don't love that. Then just be sure of the notes. Natural B sharp. Now, different hand position to first position and extended because to make the shift closer. Third finger B sharp to first finger C sharp rather than fourth finger to first finger. It's a tiny difference, but worth the effort. In this case, worth the reduced effort that you have to employ. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the bow stroke that much. I was saying the first one, letter A, very on the string, very kind of clean and neat. This one can be a little bit off the string. However, do whatever sounds best. Got lost. Feels like it's been a while. I think we played it in the last couple of years, but let me do it a little more rhythmically. But I got to the pianissimo, which is, I usually play this, when I played this for auditions, I would take it a tiny bit off the string because the ponticello one line below cannot be off the string. I mean, if you do it super loud. And that's the other thing, trying to get the proportions. The pianissimo should be some of the softest playing you're going to do in this entire page and a half. And the next line will be a little louder. And you don't have to ponticello to make the ponticello come out. It's going to be louder anyway, so don't overdo that. But pick a bow stroke. When I started it, I was trying a couple of different things. and don't change bow strokes in the middle of it. But that's too much. Another written out accelerando, doubled 16ths, 2 16ths, triplet 16th, and then 30 seconds, 4 of them. Da, da, da. So in slow motion, da, 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 da. It's a lot of work to get that really clear for an audition. I did take the time to do so on one of those early auditions that I did. So it's kind of there in my hand. Not essential for an audition, but and don't forget to vibrate the top note. I'm looking at the bowing. Yeah, that's what we have. So I think that's what my temple suits were doing, and I think this is what Savalish had us do. Sorry, intonation's not there. Okay, next page. I was on the D string, down a half step to B natural, B sharp, and then a whole step down to A sharp. I like 4/4. Then do what you like here. I just stay in the same position. These new strings are not. Good enough. Now, quiet piano. Here, very clean fingers. And shift. You do what fingering you like, but this is the fingering I do. Stretch back. Your first finger was on C double sharp, same as D natural. Now you need a C single sharp. And you need the D natural here, so bring everything back. I like 1 2 1 2 3 4, 1 2 1 2 3 4. So same thing, a half step lower. Oh, and now there's not tiny, there's a little crescendo at the end of it. Shouldn't be huge. That's another reason to start soft, so that when you crescendo, you don't have to work too hard. Even that's maybe a bit much, but half step lower on D natural, I would play just a touch less, and you are getting ready for an actual crescendo, like a 4-measure crescendo, so it doesn't need to get any louder. Little crescendo again, then go back to piano. Now, interestingly, he puts espressivo, but yeah, I guess. What is the finger? That's not the finger if I do. Oh yeah, I changed some of the. I optimized some of the bowings. I noticed some students were having trouble with the. So these. Okay, this is just I'll call it a minor scale pattern. D minor. Then chromatic. So it ends on F natural. Next note is a half step higher of sharp. Now the second measure of triplets of this figure. All 4 chromatics, whole step, and chromatic from there. That's how, by the way, how it started 2 measures before. Same 3 notes, B flat, C natural, C sharp, even spelled in the same way. So. Chromatic again, until the last one, which is a whole step, D natural to E natural. And this one is least the two octaves are the same, but it doesn't feel like you're playing. Yeah. Now this one, written rapidamente, quickly, obviously, because it starts on the C string and it's all on the C and G strings. You don't hit the D string, it's not possible until the half note. So don't dig in too much, but don't use too much bow either. And this one will really benefit. This one I would say is the second one you should practice after measure 1. Because they're going to be string crossings, they may be less, less easy to make them. Also the finger, I do first finger on the E flat, then crawl the hand back until E flat on the first finger on the D string. Whole step. Same thing with the bow. I'm exaggerating slightly, but yeah. Here's another one where I play open A, and I think a lot of people do. Our violas play more open A's, I think, than the cellos do, and more than many other big orchestras. I think that was a Jody Pasquale thing, though. So, pay attention to the half steps. Chromatic. F sharp. Had students miss that occasionally. And that's the end of that excerpt.